Hello everyone, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be creating a pretty card here for you today using the wood grain 3D embossing folder for my background. I love this. It just creates a really gorgeous subtle pattern for a texture for your background. And here you can just see my white paper that I have already run through with that embossing folder in my die cutting machine. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some color to this panel for my card front. I'm using a couple of colors of coral. I'm using some Pink Fresh inks here in Coral Reef and Passion Fruit. I'm starting off with some Coral Reef and then I'll switch it to some Passion Fruit. And this is just going to add some really pretty coral colors, as I said. Then I'm also going to add a really pretty light pink color in between these two colors. And you'll see me bring that light pink color in right away here. Just going to blend that into the area sort of in between these two corals. So just adding a little bit more Coral Reef there to meet up with that passion fruit. And like I said, I'll just add a little bit of pink in between those two just to add a little touch of pink as well. So there's my pink color there. Just going to add that in over top, just blending that so that I get just this really gorgeous blend of colors just to create this really pretty background. And I love how the ink just really brings out that texture from that embossing folder. Now I have die cut my Lovely Layers Magnolia die from Honeybee to create the bloom for my project here today. I'm adding again in some of the same colors I've already used for that background. So this is some Coral Reef, just going really, really light over top of those areas that you can see the embossed lines because that's what's going to show, and just adding just a tiny little touch of those really pretty coral colors. Now for the leaves, I'm going to be using Fresh Pear. And that's a Pink Fresh color. I'm just going to go in and use a little bit of a light touch and then a darker touch around the edge of the leaves. I wanted to have ample number of leaves here for my bloom, so I decided that I would ink blend 3. Wasn't sure if I was going to use 3 for sure, but just wanted to make sure that I had lots already die cut and colored so that I can have some options when I go to put these together on my project. I love that these dies that are used to cut out these leaves, you can just see the gorgeous embossing that you get and the detail for those leaves. You could go in with your colored pencils if you wanted and add some color over top of the ink blending as well, just to create a really super realistic look. Now the center of the Magnolia has these other 2 little layered pieces that are going to pop on there as well. I'm going to colorize those so that they really stand out. I'm going to use a little bit of peach fuzz for the lighter, and then I'm going to go in again with the passion fruit. This is just that really pretty dark coral, and just add those together, layer those together and add that into the center of my Magnolia. It's just going to create that really beautiful, vibrant center to this gorgeous bloom. And if you have not seen all of the beautiful, lovely layers florals from Honeybee Stamps, please make sure that you check them out. I will make sure that I link up in the description box below to the Lovely Layers. I just think they are genius, and Honeybee just does an amazing job with this product line, and there's so much versatility in the Lovely Layers line. I am an especially big fan of the flowers, and I just love this Magnolia one. It's one of my favorites. So it's a toss-up though because they're all gorgeous, so really, really love them all. Now this is a pattern paper from the Adventure Awaits pattern paper pad. I love that it has just this really, really bright white background with these black spots, and I love that the back side of it is black, so when you roll up that paper on that torn edge, it's going to create that really nice black outline. And so I just tore this off in a strip, and then I took it to my sewing machine and added some sewing for texture. I've trimmed that down so that it fits onto my card panel here, and I'll just adhere that onto the lower third of this card front, and that's just going to provide a really nice spot for the details for my project, including this beautiful Magnolia bloom and then those lovely leaves that are in green. I love the combination of the really pretty coral and that light green color. I think that color palette is really pretty, and I just love that that pattern paper just has that really nice pop of black, which is just a really great contrast. So I'm going to pop the bloom up on some foam adhesive and add that over to kind of like the left. And now I'm just going to fuss around with these leaves and just kind of try to decide where I want them. I don't want them to cover up a bunch of that paper, that pattern paper. So I'm going to try to pop them onto the design so that I can maximize the amount of that pattern paper that's going to show. I just trimmed that leaf down just a little bit so that it fits in behind there a little bit better. And now I've adhered those all down. You can see that's got some nice dimension, and the card front is adhered to my top folding A2 size card. Now, I am going to use the beautiful sentiment from Miss You Big Time. If you don't have this stamp set, it is a staple. I love the Big Time sentiment sets from Honeybee. There's several, and they're all gorgeous. I'm using my Honeybee Intense Black ink to stamp out the happy birthday sentiment from that set onto some white cardstock, just using my Misty there to help me get that stamped out nicely. Once I'm happy with the darkness, the opacity of that black ink, I'm going to go ahead and use the coordinating die from the coordinating die set for Miss You Big Time. The coordinating die set cuts out all of the different sentiments that are part of that set. I'm going to pop that up on some foam adhesive and adhere that into that large open space that's on my card front. So really fills that in nicely, and you can just see how bold and lovely that black ink is on that background, and again picks up on that black that's on that pattern paper. Now I'm going to use some Dina Wakley white gloss spray to splatter onto my card front as well for that little bit of extra texture. This white texture is just going to fill in some of the different spaces that are open, but it's also going to provide that little bit of texture on the background as well, just to add that little bit of detail. I really like finishing off my projects with a little bit of white splatter using just a really fine paintbrush. And you can just see here, I'll splatter that on. I do have the sentiment covered up just so that I don't get a bunch of white splatter on that. I wanted the ink to stay nice and crisp and black on that sentiment without any white splatter. Now I am going to be using the pearl stickers called Happy Hearts. These are beautiful. I love all of the Honeybee pearl stickers. They're a must for embellishing projects. And I'm going to use some of these really pretty little pinky coral ones just to add some detail to my project. You'll just see me here using my pen blade to grab those off the packaging. And the great thing about these pearl stickers is they already have the adhesive on them, so you don't have to worry about adding glue to your project. The little sticky that's on the back of each one of these pearls just adheres beautifully to your project. So I'm going to put 3 of these pearls up at the top, just trying to space them out a little bit. I think I lost that one and had to go back onto the packaging for another one. And I think I found that later on my desk and put it back onto the packaging here. So friends, that's my finished card today. I have linked up to all of the different products that I've used for my project in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining me and Honeybee Stamps. Have an amazing day, friends, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.